Glad to have you join us again. I have Charles Frakuha, iBrand Senior Analyst, who joins me now live via phone from Delta State to do some analysis of some of the top stories we're tracking at this time. Charles, good morning. Many thanks for joining us on the show.
Good morning.
I believe you've seen some of the top stories we're tracking today on the program. We really do not have the luxury of time to go over them one after the other, but let's quickly start off with this story that says that state debt, that's their external debt burden by the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, has increased by 40%. What is your reaction to this amid declining revenue generation from these states?
But first of all, it is good that the agencies are giving us these statistics. So everybody will know that it is not only the federal government that when you talk of Nigerian debt, it's not only the federal government, the states, and even local government are involved. So that every Nigerian will know that this debt is all funds that have contributed to that debt. Because for the state government, local government, federal government to borrow one kobo, then the state House of Assembly must have approved. For the federal government to even borrow one kobo, that the National Assembly must have approved. So and that National Assembly comprises of our elected representatives. So it goes to show that it is all Nigerians that are taking this debt, not just a few persons. Now, because of what is happening in the country today, the devaluation, I will not say devaluation, the education of the Naira is floating, and of course, we are bound to see this kind of issues happening. And that's why the debt has increased to over 3 trillion. So what the government needs to do, these new state governors, is to see how they can increase revenue from their states and reduce borrowing. Because each state in the country, I think, has what it takes in terms of their internally generated revenue to run their affairs of the state. And if they cannot generate enough revenue to run their state, then obviously in business they will say it is not viable. But they need to show that they are creative, they can increase their internal revenue and take care of the welfare of citizens in their state and reduce this borrowing.
Okay, good one there. Let's look at this other story where the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization is saying that world food imports will grow at a slower rate this year, and then it will definitely hit a record of $1.98 trillion this year. How do you react to this? It seems that the prices of food commodities is not only affecting Nigerians, it's not a global thing. What is your reaction to this?
Yes, it's a global thing, and of course, some analysts we have seen it before, and we know. So the only advice we are giving to the government now is, yes, these are the projections. Whether you project or you don't project, people must eat. And like you have said, it is a global phenomenon now. So it's a world problem. And that's why the Food and Agricultural Organization is coming out to make it people. Each of these countries will see how to improve their agricultural production. It is not getting safe. We keep saying it all every time. But we'll continue to mention it. Now, in local areas like the Delta states now, the footprint has already started. Most communities are even being sacked already. Now, what are the technologies that are involved in terms of assisting these farmers? What are they can have 1 hectare of land to produce optimally? That is the only way for us to bring down the prices of most food items. I also know that, yes, for me, like I say, no food production in the world globally. The issue has to do with distribution. So, there are some areas where you have a lot of food being produced, but because of storage facilities, bad transportation, bad roads, insecurity, this food item cannot be distributed to other areas where there are not enough food. And that's why we are seeing this kind of situation. So each region, I believe, can take care of themselves in terms of food production. And the only way is for national government, regional government, state government, local government to get involved in agriculture, making that natural production easy for the smallholder farmers, encouraging them in terms of if they will give to them, and more importantly, especially locally in Nigeria, take care of insecurity so that people can go to the farm and produce more so that they can feed themselves at first before we think of even exporting to other regions or other parts of the country or other parts of the world that need food supply.
Okay, so we'll wrap up this segment of the program with this cherry news. And then we have this report coming from the National Bureau of Statistics saying that despite the challenges that Nigerians faced in the first quarter of this year, going by the Naira scarcity, the country was able to gain a higher record of foreign trade goods into the country. That's eating about 12 trillion Naira. And then the report is saying that this development is way higher than revenue generated from VAT, that is a value-added tax, and also CIT, company import tax as well. Yeah, so with all this fundamental in place now, don't you think that what would you say the government is doing or the government has done to ensure that we achieve this?
Yes, you can see that the increase in our exports is as a result of the Nigerian companies, Nigeria that are very, very resilient. Despite the issues we had in terms of our macroeconomic conditions for Q1 2015, the cash redesign policy, sort of effect, this affected most manufacturers and individuals, but you can still see that our trade improved and even surpassing what government generated from taxes. One, that tells you that more and more Nigerians are becoming resilient. Companies that you think are already going down will struggle, meet up, and continue to export. Nigerians are doing a lot of trade, and that's why we are seeing that figures increasing and even surpassing that was taxes that generated by VAT and other. So what I think the government should do now is a new government is to sustain that tempo in terms of encouraging export, which is very critical. Encouraging export, and if we put that, then of course it improves our revenue generation, even for the non-oil sector. Then, of course, we will see an improvement in our revenue, and that will make this present government to depend less and less in terms of borrowing to fund whatever project they want to embark on in this current fiscal year.
Okay, but there is this there are concerns about reduction in import trade, and then which has to do with local production, which has in a way increased exports. What do you think now that government should do to encourage the increase of the production, the exportation of locally made Nigerian products?
Yes, that has always been our focus. How to increase production. And the only way, first of all, is the government to also show by example. I expect this new government to say any of the government vehicles should be local production. We already have plants here in the country that can supply that need. And the government has to say very for the president and say most of the vehicles will be used in the presidency. If we have the capacity here, and of course I know we do, let us make use of those local resources. We are even seeing what is being done in the oil and gas industry, the local content, oil and gas local content. This is to improve capacity of these local companies. The only way is for God to protect our farm industry. There are certain things that can be done locally here, if not as good the one that has been imported. They should be encouraged and put, I don't know, maybe what they call a quota. I mean, you cannot import more than certain quantity of this kind of products that we can manufacture here in the country. These are policies that can be used to increase our export. We need also to encourage export. Yes, we know the federal government did quite a lot, but this can be improved with agencies of government that assist local people here in the country, give them the capacity